All right, we are live. All right, so thanks guys for joining us. This Google Hangout is about achieving optimal fitness, both health and fitness. Our special guest is Manny Menchaca. Manny, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people what you're about and what you do.
Hey guys, my name's Manny. I run a online fitness coaching on Instagram. It's worldwide coaching. I basically set up your diet, your workout plan, your supplement regimen. I also do competition prep for bodybuilding, men's physique, women's bikini, all the posing, all that. Just a little bit of everything. I now started doing personal training where I meet people at their gyms and we do an hour session. I started Boom Fitness as a personal trainer out of my house I would say about 2.5 years ago. And then from there, that's when Instagram was kind of, taking off, and I was able to reach I realized I'd be able to reach a lot more clients online, and that's exactly what I did in the route I took, and I kind of went off of personal training back to Instagram coaching, and now, like I said, we've hit about 10,000 clients in about 2.5 years. We have about a couple thousand transformations, as you'll see them on my Instagram. I do it both in Spanish and English. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do, and a quick breakdown to it all.
Awesome, Manny. Well, Knights, thanks for joining us. Before we get started into it, I want to go ahead and give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves. Just, I guess, say who you are, what you do, and what you're looking to get out of this hangout. So, Tang, you mind starting us off?
Sure. Manny's my coach. He's the one who got me to the best fitness level I've ever achieved in my whole life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why, I talked to Jeff, and I'm like, me, Manny, I've been, sending people to you as much as I can, and you're the first person that I send people to that are looking to change their fitness, because you just broke barriers for me that I can never break throughout my whole life. And
wow, I truly appreciate that. It's a pleasure to actually meet you on this video thing versus just email or text or
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm just here to meet the man who did it all and hear what he has to say in person or over the hangout, and still absorb as much as I can, because I think he has a lot to share. Thank you. Thanks, Manny.
No problem.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Jim. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Jim?
Yeah, hey guys. I'm here just to, because I've always just done like one really thing, and so I am just trying to see of what more I can do, because I basically just do right now is run, and I lift kind of, but not really that much. So I just want to see what tips that I can get, because I'm looking to lose about 40 pounds. I would like to be down to about 170, and right now I'm at like 220, so I'm looking to lose about 45 pounds. That's my goal right there.
Awesome, Jim. And we do have Chris in the hangout. Right now he can hear us. I just don't think he's got a mic or video connection. I will let you guys know that I know Chris, and oh yeah, he's in here. Chris is in the film industry. Chris, you want to go ahead and type what you're looking to get out of this Google Hangout session?
Oh, that's cool.
While I'm waiting for that, I'll let you guys know who I am if you're not quite sure who I am. My name's Jeff. I'm one of the co-founders of the Night Project. And well, I heard about Manny through Tang and saw Tang's awesome results. So I started doing research and started following Manny on Instagram and on Facebook, and started doing some research into like what he does and why he's so successful. And saw his background story and where he's been and how far he's come. So I figured this would be a great hangout for guys that are looking to get into better shape, and not only better shape, just live healthier, more fit lives. So he was kind enough to join us today to do that hangout. So thanks again, Manny, for doing that.
Definitely.
And Chris still taking a minute to respond, so I'm going to go ahead and start the actual hangout now. So we're going to get started. Basically, first I want to start off with, now that we know what Manny does for a living, Manny, I really want to ask you kind of what is your story? You know, how did you grow up? What was your lifestyle there, and what brought you into the fitness world as your lifestyle?
Do you want the raw and unedited version, or do you want the, so you guys still look at me as you know, Manny Boom Fitness afterwards?
Dude, be as real as you can. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll be as real. A longer story, a little bit shorter. About 2011, around 2010, 2011. I don't know which year it was, but I was in law enforcement. I worked for Homeland Security. I was actually in the works of transitioning into a local police department city. I was gonna take a pay. You know, it wasn't a smart decision financially or, you know, any otherwise, because it's just, I had better benefits, I had better everything. But it just wasn't my thing. I wanted to be a cop, and I went to the police academy for it. So I went that route. When I kind of was getting a little bit closer to getting hired, and I seen that things were going great, I was about to get hired. We went out and celebrated. At that point, I was in a part of my life where I was partying a lot, and I would, you know, drink and drive and show my ID, and, you know, they would let me get away with it. They'd have me park my car or whatever it is. You know how law enforcement, you know, brothers do it. They, you know, they back each other up. Some don't. It's not the right thing to do, but it's your call at the end of the day. And I got lucky all those times, and just that night I didn't get too lucky. A local police department by where I lived actually pulled me over. I gave them the whole spill. They just weren't having it. Long story short, I got a DUI. And then from there, I was trying to get no probation so I could keep my government job, because you can't be on any type of probation and own or carry a firearm. And the only way to do that is go to jail for 6 months. So what I did was try to do house arrest for 6 months in place of it. It was a lot of work, a lot of money, to where I can go to and from work. And it ended up falling through. The first week I was on house arrest, the government let me go. And so I had my back against the wall, and that's, you know, I've always had a thing for fitness. You know, I played up to the collegiate level of basketball. I've always been a fan of nutrition, fitness. I, you know, stood in shape, but not, you know, too serious as I take it now. But yeah, that happened, and it was almost, now I look at it as, you know, as a blessing in disguise, because in a way I still help people. And I think I actually, instead of protecting somebody, I actually protect people from themselves. I have them, you know, I help them feel better about themselves. I help them get motivated with their day. If you have a strong routine, you'll notice your days are just a little more pleasant, because you just feel more completed at the end, like almost like it's a reward type feeling. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. I started, you know, Instagramming to get clients. I would put out pictures, you know, of myself, of my physique, of my shows I was doing, and I got a following pretty quickly, and I started getting clients. And then just, I would say my first 30 clients are what built my business, because they followed everything that, you know, I had written for them to the T, and they got transformations that led to my Instagram building more and more, and people wanting to, you know, sign up with me, and they would see the transformations, and of course they'd want the same. But my thing wasn't too much about the transformations. Yeah, that's great. You know, I see it more as, you know, the icing on the cake. But it's how you feel about yourself, how much more energy you have, how you feel, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you sleep better. You know, couples have, you know, their sex drive, you know, increase from dieting and doing all that. There's a lot of different rewards that you get from dieting and exercise. It's an endless amount, and that's just something that just ended up working out for me, going the fitness route, and it's where I am today. We just hit 10,000 clients, so I'm pretty blessed, that all this has happened, and I couldn't ask for more. So, but that's the unedited version, not too much, not hiding too much either. So
That's cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you being vulnerable and opening up to us. It's really nice to see that it's not always, just a simple story.
yeah, and you guys are actually the first ones I've told that to, besides some close friends and family. So I figured this would be a perfect time to do it. You guys want to hang out and do this talk thing, then I feel like I owe it to you guys too.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, so now that we kind of know where you've been and what you're doing now, I want to get into the actual meat of this hangout. So I want to start off with covering diets. So diets are extremely popular in today's culture. In the fitness realm, I mean, they gain billions and billions of dollars in revenue every single year. It includes weight loss pills, energy drinks, supplements, shots, everything you can think of. A lot of the diets that are popular right now would be like paleo, and then also some of the herbal supplements that are over the counter as well, like HCG activators and other ones as well. I'm just kind of curious, Manny, what your take is on all these different types of fad diets and why they gain popularity and why, for the most part, they never ever work. Like maybe somebody sees results, but then 6 months later they're back where they used to be.
It's a pretty simple question to answer. I believe that all of them in a way can work, because the reason they even started to sell is because it worked for somebody. Somebody had the idea because they tried it and they seen that it worked. They sold it. A couple other people reacted to it the same. Majority of the people didn't. So to me, it's all based on, I promote people to get in shape no matter what. I don't know the best diet coach. I never, I know I'm good. I know, my Instagram is, I back up what I say with my Instagram. But I promote just people getting a diet coach or any type of personal training or any type of diet coaching, whatever it is, because at the end of it, it's just, it's for your health. And I don't believe any of them are wrong or any of them are the right way to go. I believe if it works for you, then it works for you, and it's the right way to go. There's a lot of diets I've tried, a lot of detoxes, and certain things work for me that wouldn't work for my girlfriend or for my friend, or everybody's body's different. So if it works for you, then stick with it. If it doesn't, then obviously it's just not for your body type.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so I'm going to go on to the next question, and it kind of piggybacks off of what you just said, and that's how individuals' body types actually make a difference in their fitness and in their diet regimen. Because I think a lot of people think that they can follow the same plan as maybe somebody else with a completely different build, and they'll see the exact same results, when in actuality it may not be beneficial for them. So if you can just go into detail about that.
I think everybody's body breaks down calories, breaks down proteins, carbohydrates, fats differently. I can eat up to, during prep, my last show, I remember I ate about almost 3-4 cans of almond butter, of jars of almond butter. And that's a week before I step on stage, because the way I break down fats is like if I'm not even eating them. So I could eat almond butter for days, I could eat nuts, almonds, but once I touch any, say brown rice I react okay with, but once I touch any like starchy carbs like white potato, white rice, bread doesn't do me well either. Fruits, give or take the different types. Oatmeal I do great, quinoa I do great. versus somebody else, they might react to white rice great. And I know a lot of guys in men's physique that I competed against or with that use a white rice a part of their diet because it works well for them. Some people can't have any type of almonds or almond butter in their diet because they don't know how to control themselves. So they'll eat a lot more than they should. That's, you know, if you have the jar at your house and you're allowed 2 tablespoons one meal, you might do a little bit more. If you know you're that type of person, then you got to take almond butter out of your regimen and get something more that you can kind of, you know, level out with your cravings. So I just think there's no diet coach that's going to know your body once you know, come to me as a client. I'm not going to know your body right away. That's why I specialize in, you know, adjusting your diet as we go. I believe that's the best route to take with any client, because if I give you a diet and say run this for 30 days, what if at day 15 your body just, you know, gets used to it? I don't believe in plateauing. When people say, you know, coach, I plateaued, I strongly don't believe in that word, because just because there's certain numbers or certain body parts aren't getting toned or numbers aren't dropping doesn't mean you're either gaining knowledge or you're gaining stamina in your workouts. You're still, you know, breaking down muscle fibers. You're still growing. You're still, you know, progressing. So when people say you've plateaued, it's just, no, your body's different than everybody else's. Some people might lose weight faster than others. I'll get people, you know, that will email me, coach, I've been on the diet for 10 days. I don't look like this girl that you posted at a 10-day transformation. And I said, you don't look like her because you're not her. You guys are 2 totally different people. You don't know if she went in there and did an hour more of a workout than you did. You don't know if she ate a little bit less, or she missed a meal, or you don't even know if she's cheating and she's getting the results. You don't know, because that's not you. So I strongly believe when I say it a lot, race your own race, because if you're trying to compete with other people, there's always somebody that's better than you out there. There's other diet coaches that are better than me. There's other guys that are, you know, more ripped than me. There's other guys that are faster, stronger. You just got to be the best person that you can be, giving, you know, your best effort. And, you know, with the whole thing that I always say, I say it probably every day, with patience and consistency, that's what's going to get you to your goal at the end of the day. And knowing that goal there's no finish line to that goal. So don't think, okay, I lost 50 pounds, or Jim is the name, I think he said he wants to lose 40 pounds. Just when you lose the 40 pounds, that your goal's not over, it doesn't mean, okay, let me go back to that, you know, the old lifestyle. Usually when people lose weight like that, or a lot of my success stories, is because once you start seeing the results, you get motivated. But people lose that motivation quickly once they stop seeing the results, because the results will come fast and they'll kind of slow down, because you got to remember, it didn't take you 6 months to put on, it didn't take you a month to put on 60 pounds. It took a while for you to put on that weight, so you got to expect that it's going to take a while to get it off. So like I said, it's just every body type's different at the end of the day.
Awesome. Well, the next question I have kind of branches off into that as well. It's kind of nice how it's flowing. I was going to actually ask you, how exactly do you turn your diet and exercise routine into a lifestyle? Because what you just mentioned, I think, is the main struggle that a lot of people deal with. They go through the hardcore diets, they may burn off that weight and get the results, and then once they're there, they think they can relax, and then suddenly a year later, they're back where they started again. So I'm kind of curious, what's the difference between the people that, hit the goal and quit, and the people that keep going at it?
People that hit the goal and quit usually is because they probably went real hard, real fast, and they lost a lot of weight real fast, and then after that, they're thrown off mentally because they're not seeing the numbers drop like they once did. That, and they're worn out. They're mentally worn out. They're physically worn out. When I set up my diets for my clients, I kind of create longevity, meaning they can do it for a longer period of time versus trying to lose weight so quickly. Yeah, it's great, but if you're losing weight too quickly, it's a good and a bad thing, because you're losing weight, so it's better for your health. But losing too much weight too fast isn't good for your body, because now your joints have to, readjust to your new weight, your muscles, your digestion, your everything, your metabolism, everything's, making a transformation. People see just a physical transformation. You've transformed many things: stamina, endurance, strength, a lot of things. So usually the difference of people that kind of, get to their goal and they keep going, or that turns it into a lifestyle. Number one, it's just got to be for you. Everybody can live a healthy and fit lifestyle, but if you're trying to get up to certain levels of your physique or your health, or just in general just trying to be healthy, you almost gotta go into like a maintenance type dieting. My maintenance type dieting would be a little bit harder than somebody that's kind of, lost a lot of weight and they're just kind of, I don't want to, fall back and rebound this weight. What can I do, coach? So I'll adjust their diet to a more, moderate, more maintainable diet, to where they'll get a little bit more food, they'll get a little bit more fruit, things that'll give them energy, but it's not bad food. Their body's able to digest it. So that's kind of what I do. That's usually the difference. If they have a good, strong diet, if you notice coaches or, anybody in the fitness industry says you need to have a strong diet. A strong diet doesn't mean a diet that's going to make you lose weight and gain muscle. It's a well-balanced diet that's going to create longevity for you to last as, a person dieting and turning it into a lifestyle.
Great. That sounds awesome. So I do want to ask you, related to that, can you give us a few examples of some of the diet plans that you've built for clients?
My more basic one would be, I kind of give them a well-rounded diet that's going to help them lose weight and, like I said, create longevity. So you never want to go zero carbs. You never want to go just, protein and vegetables. Yeah, that works to a point to get you to lose fat quickly. And we'll go through little phases with clients. Say they've done 30 days and they're like, Coach, I want to step it up. I want to really, like, they're motivated. So I'll adjust their diet to kind of make it more, little more extreme, so that they can burn that fat just as fast as they were the first 30 days. But you can't just set somebody up like that. Then I'll be setting them up for failure. But usually, as long as it's well-rounded with fats, carbohydrates, and protein, and I'll kind of give them that that morning. A lot of them are real. There's a couple big ones. Coffee creamer. Some people are like, what, if I can't have it, then I can't do your diet. And I've gotten thousands of emails of that about coffee creamer. So I said, you know what, I'll give you a max amount of 2 tablespoons, which is enough, because if you're downing 6-8 cups of coffee with coffee creamer, that's a lot of calories and carbs that will add up, even if it's sugar free or fat free. So I kind of add little goodies, different snacks, different sauces, different seasonings, to give them that extra that extra mile to go that extra mile. My girlfriend and I, we created a recipe book as well. It has about 47 recipes, and they're just healthier versions of cheat meals. There's pizza that we made that was like low to zero carbs, different types of pancakes, different cookies, donuts. We created that pho soup. We've created enchiladas. We've created just almost everything, and we're working on a volume 3 right now, just to create more options for the client. And I allow them to do that a couple times a week, because unfortunately they can't do it every day, because they are a little bit higher in calories, a little bit higher in fat. But if you're doing that a couple times a week and you are following your workouts, you're getting in 3 to 5 workouts a week, a okay amount of cardio, but you're consistent with this, your results will happen. And at first they'll happen fast and they'll kind of slow down. That's when I talk to the client a little more and explain to them and motivate them, because I know when you're in that plateau, so people call it, area, it's just, you just need a little bit more time of dieting. You need a little bit more time of weightlifting. There has to be that patience and that consistency, and that's why people usually fall off. But usually I'm really good at talking to them and explaining that to them, which I think that sets me aside from a lot of these online coaches. That and the price, some of these prices these guys charge it's robbery. But yeah, I think that's more or less the type of diet that I set up for clients.
Wow, that was really helpful. I'm kind of curious. You mentioned the book that you made with your girlfriend. Is that something that viewers can get online and purchase?
Yeah, we actually we sell it for $15, and it's a you pay it through PayPal, and it'll come. It's like a Dropbox type link. You click on it, and it opens it up, and my girlfriend put together, perfectly. And it has the ingredients, how to cook it, the pictures, the final product. I mean, the final recipe, how to do it, how long, and all that stuff. So. It is it's amazing. We had fun doing it, and we tried to use a lot of the ingredients that we can use again for the another type meal, because they are expensive when you get different flours and different um, pasta mixes and things. You have to go the more healthy route, and usually that's a little more pricey. So putting together these things were pricey, but they were worth it. They were so much fun, and we had a lot of failures just as well. But that's what it took to get these recipes out there. I've got nothing but good feedback from it. Nothing but good feedback from it.
That's really cool, man. I'm a big fan of cooking, so I can really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I'll hook all you guys up with the recipe link that signed in. I'll message it, and you guys could all click on it, and you'll have your copy of it's like a PDF form.
awesome. Thanks, man.
No problem.
You did mention the coffee thing, which really interested me too, because I'm a big coffee nut. I actually like my coffee black, but I know that a lot of people are really into the creamers and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of bulletproof coffee before?
Bulletproof coffee? No, I haven't.
I would, just on a side note, I would recommend you research that for your clients. I forget the guy who made it, but it's made out of, instead of using creamer, he uses yak butter, and it's like mold-free coffee. Like, it's all natural stuff, but it's supposed to be like super good for you. He actually just opened up the first bulletproof coffee shop in Los Angeles like a month ago.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely
I'll take a look
check
at
that
it.
out. The other thing is you mentioned with a lot of your clients, you get that beginning period where they lose a ton of weight, and then things kind of slow down a little bit. And I really want to go into detail about that, because I think that's probably where people fall off the most. That's where they think is the dreaded plateau, so to put. And you mentioned that you usually at that time have to put a lot more effort into, motivating them and fine-tuning the regimen.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? Why the body reacts that certain way?
Well, I just think because at first you'll lose a lot of water and salt, so a lot of that's going to be water and salt. Some of it will be fat, and then the numbers start staying the same, because you get the muscle hardening. You're transitioning fat into muscle, so you're almost like replacing the pounds pound for pound, and the scale's not going to move, and you're actually probably not going to see any progress. Not only that, like I go back to how I said earlier, you can't expect to lose all the weight you gained, or whatever it is, or weight you want to put on, in just a month or just in 2 months. To get fit, you got to turn it into a lifestyle. A lot of people, like you said, fall off at that point. And that's when I try motivating them, because that's the time where it's just, you got to go in the gym, you got to put in your time, and that's basically it. You got to pay, put your time in. You got to punch your time card in the gym, and let it accumulate, and that's when you start seeing the results. It could take I would say the average human body about 7 months for a true transformation, like a really solid one. And some people can get one in 30, 60 days. It's just like I said, you just got to be patient. You can't expect anything to happen overnight, but there is a point where it does take weeks into a month or two, and you're not seeing anything. That's just fitness. That's why you either got to love it or you don't. That's people fall off because it's just not for them. They're doing it for the wrong reason then. the people that succeed are the people that do it for their health. They do it for their kids. They do it for, they start seeing the results. So it's all these rewards they're getting. Who's not going to stop? It's just people that want just one reward, meaning they just want a six-pack, or they just want glutes, or they will just want quads. And just because they're not getting them as fast as they want, that's when they end up quitting. To them, it's just not for them. You got to like how you feel. You got to, when my girlfriend, when she finishes running, she gets like a runner's high. And I started implementing a lot of running in my cardio regimen, and the feeling you get after is just unbelievable. It's like you had the best cup of coffee and the best, night's sleep after you feel, and you're just like kind of on this natural high. And if you're doing it for those reasons, then you will succeed. If you're just doing it for, you just want the abs and the glutes, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and you're not going to succeed. That's why they fall off, because they quit, because they don't see the results coming in, and they just have one goal in mind, and that's it. And that's why when my clients sign up, I ask them their height, weight goals, all that, and then ask them, why do they want this? Because I go back, when I file it, I go back in when they're not motivated and they're, coach, I ate that on the weekend. I tell them, hey, you know what, let's just erase that. The weekend never happened. I go, you remember why you started, and I'll pull it from their file and tell them this is why you started. And everybody always has a different reason, and that's why I have them tell me that. And I kind of know the client I'm dealing with, because there will be guys that just want, I just want six-pack abs, and I'll be like, okay, now I know where their mindset's at, so I know how to set up their diet. Versus somebody that's, I just want to have more energy for my kids, I want to lose a little bit of weight, and I just want to sleep better. And then I'll set their diet up like that. All these coaches go into these macronutrients and all these numbers, and they start doing the science. All that stuff works. All these different diets work. If it works for you, then fine. But I don't believe, that's why I think I've been so successful, because of the certain information I gather from my clients, and after that I go and design these diets that I've created for people. And I think that's why I want to almost say more than, I would say 70-80% of my clients follow through my diet, and that's a high amount of number of people. But it's the ones that fall off are usually the ones that like I said, they just want the six-pack abs, and that's just, if that's what you're here for, then you're most likely going to fall off.
I think that's really cool that you put that effort into really getting to know your client and kind of understanding where their motivation lies. I'm kind of curious, can you give us some examples of some of the most powerful motivations that you've gotten from clients that have, had really good positive results?
One thing, well, I'll share this. I'll share clients where I get my motivation from. Because I could sit here and give you quote after quote, quotes that I've created, quotes that I could memorize off of Google, and that's not going to be, the motivation. But if I can explain how it makes me feel when I'm motivated, it'll probably make you understand how I kind of try to connect with my clients. I tell them, first off, I tell them, you can't let me down because I wouldn't let you down. So I strike that in their head, and it makes sense, because I wouldn't let them down. I don't let them down. I'm on my emails, on my texts, like it's nonstop. As I'm on this on my phone right now, I'm seeing text after text, email after email, and which is great, because it just shows that just shows success to me at the end of the day. It's all these people are reaching out to get information from me. Where I get motivated is a certain emails that I get. I'll get, I've had from anywhere from a lady saying she tried on her wedding dress from 18 years ago that didn't fit her. A year after, till now, it didn't fit her, and it got her emotional, and she, kind of got sad, but a happy sad. And then I've had, somebody that was in a wheelchair. Long story short, was able to start walking, and I shared that on my Instagram about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And that was just the things that I get from these people, posts from people that will post like, he doesn't know that he's one of my best friends, and that every day I know I can't let him down. And people really connect with me, and I find that just motivating, because I'm doing it with people from all over the globe. It's just not in California. It's just not in, the United States. It's everywhere. and it's just crazy how I'm able to build these connections with these people just via email and text and Instagram, and changing their lives and actually witnessing their lives change. That's where I get my motivation. And of course, I'm motivated, for success, for my, my family, my girlfriend, all that. But motivation for fitness, getting in the gym, it's tough. It's tough to always kind of have to, walk around in decent shape. It's tough to, I only take a month out of the year of, not dieting. I'm always kind of staying in shape to, grow at the same time. And because at the end of the day, it is a competition with myself. I try to be better than I was and look better than I was the month before. And it's almost like a game, and it's a fun game. And it's a love for it, and it's a love-hate, because there's more days that I hate fitness than I love it, because it's just so wear and tear, and I think it's my clients and the motivation they give me that keeps me going with this whole fitness act. Because there'll be days where I'm like, I'm done, I'm not going to the gym no more, I'm just broken down, or I'm moody from carbs, I'm from no carbs, from doing depletion of water and salt, and I'm mean to my girlfriend, I'm mean to my family, I'm just not the person to be around, and it's a wear and tear on your personal life. People see, I post I do have a great life. Everybody posts all their great moments on Instagram and Facebook. No one's real on these things, saying, hey, my day was shit, or but I do have a lot of tough days, and it does take effect on my social life, on a lot of things, especially when I'm dieting for a show, or if I'm getting ready for something, then it's really tough. And sometimes, like I said, I'm not a very fun person to be around. So.
Well, I really appreciate you opening up and being honest about that. I think that's cool because, like you said, a lot of times in the social media, everybody's got this representation online of perfection, and showing that someone who lives in the fitness world and even teaches other people how to diet and how to be fit, you struggle every day too. So I mean, I think that's really awesome that you're able to open up like that and share that with us. So thank you. At this point, I do want to open up the floor to the Knights. If you guys have questions for Manny, go ahead and ask them now.
Okay. All right. So anyway, well, right now I'm going at a pace where I'm losing about a pound, maybe like 2 pounds, per week, and my goal is really no more than 3, because in the past I've gone really hardcore, and I can lose more, but I go at a pace at where there's a point at where I'm just tired, and then I will gain all back. And so right now I am trying just to lose about 2 pounds, and then trying to lose all my weight probably over the course of 1 year. And now, what is a good weight to lose, and then what is a bad weight to lose per week?
Well, it seems like you're basing a lot of it on numbers, like I said. 2 pounds a week is great, first off. That's a real good pace to go. I think you're going too hard too fast, because if you say you go for a good while, and then you quit and just kind of fall back off and start over again. Or do you go and then fall off and then kind of start up again right away? How does that work when you do that? Or is it you fall off and then you just wait a good while and then get back on it?
Well, sorry, the last time where I was losing about 5 pounds, per week, and then about a month to in, I was just done, and then I went off of it, and then I gained back most of it, and so.
What I would do, because I kind of already see where your problem's at, because I've dealt with many clients with the same issues. What I would do is stop weighing yourself. Just don't weigh yourself no more. Don't step on a scale. Don't keep track of how many pounds you're losing per week. Just focus more on, the physical appearance of how you feel, how you're feeling in the gym, and kind of slow down a little bit. Go at a pace that you know you can keep going. Once you create the longevity, you can't fail. There's no, race to the finish line. It seems like you're just trying to get there fast, and everybody wants that. But that's the first thing you got to get out of your head, or else, after that you won't succeed. Just take it slow. Add a little more, food to your diet when you feel it's getting a little harder, but make smart choices. And that, believe it or not, that'll give you enough fuel for the next day to kind of add a little more cardio at the end of your workout, or add a little bit more, 15, 20 minutes to your weight session. So that's the first thing I would do, is stop weighing yourself, slow it down a little bit, and set yourself up for success. It almost seems like you're so focused on the number and losing so fast, you're setting yourself up for failure. As you said, you fall off and you just kind of wait and you start over again. So that's what I would do. And that usually when you create that longevity lifestyle, then in dieting and fitness, you will see results.
Okay, cool.
All right, and Tang, do you have any questions yourself?
I had a question, Manny, coach. Because of you, I started getting into fitness. I started following a lot of articles now, and I'm like reading all kinds of stuff. And there's this new fad I've been running across, and I've been kind of testing it out myself, which is intermittent fasting. So I was just curious, by the boss, what you thought about that.
It's funny that you say that. I actually, my actual personal routine, I probably couldn't even explain it to people. I just kind of adjusted my lifestyle to this new diet that I do, kind of. And I know if I really want to, step it up, at what time for, whatever the date of the show is, I know what I have to do. But I had to create more longevity, just with this, lifestyle of, trying to create a future with, my girlfriend, my family, my friends. It's tough. It's tough to be dieting 24/7. So for your question, it's actually been working for me. I've been using that. I won't eat until about, give or take, it could be anywhere between 12 and 3. And that'll be after fasted cardio that I try to get done around anywhere between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. And I'll eat, after fasted, I'll eat usually egg whites and spinach, or I'll eat chicken and broccoli. It'll be 0 carbs. I'll have some almonds or cashews for fats, or some avocado. And then I won't eat another time until, I would say, about 2-3 hours later. That's usually my pre-workout meal. And that's when I'll get my brown rice in with, like I said, right now I'm doing a lot of egg whites and ground turkey. So it's either those two. I kind of go through my trends where I'll just eat egg whites and ground turkey for 6 weeks or 4 weeks, or however long I get tired of it. Then I'll switch to beef and chicken, and then fish and egg whites, or it just so I don't get tired of it. And then I'll eat the pre-workout, and then my post-workout, after I work out, I'll usually just take my BCAAs and glutamine. I won't eat. I just finished the gym, I would say, about an hour before this, and I haven't eaten yet. So I kind of set up my body to eat right before bed. I eat a lot of, usually this is when I eat a lot of my food, a lot of my carbs. I'll eat about 300-400 grams of carbs. I try to keep my fats low at this last meal because I eat so much during the first 2 meals. And then my protein is kind of no limit. Sometimes I'll go 100-150 grams just in meat alone, and I kind of make it up in 3 meals. And in a way, that's the intermittent fasting, because I go almost anywhere between 13 and 16 hours without eating. So I do believe in it. It does work for some people. It's really hard to get your body adjusted to that and then making it a permanent thing. But if you can, I've seen nothing but, I would say, how can I say it, freedom from dieting now that I'll go out with my girlfriend or with my family, and I know I still have that one big, I almost see it as a cheat meal. But because I know I'm eating so much at that last meal that I'm able to last to wait till that last meal.
Nice.
So I strongly believe in it.
Sweet.
Awesome. I was kind of curious about that one too, just because Tang, you and I were talking about that last time we hung out.
Yeah.
Yeah, text me. Both of you guys text me or email. You too, Jim, if you can, text me your emails and I'll hook you guys up, and I'll explain to you guys, you two guys that were about this question, my routine. So maybe you can kind of feed off of it,
Yeah.
or I'll send it to all three of you guys. That way you can kind of just take a look at how I do my, my new diet. And you guys will probably be the only ones and my girlfriend that know this is, kind of how I'm dieting up to my show. And it's
Yeah.
it's easy. It's actually Tang. It's actually helped become it's I've lowered the stress in that department of dieting, because that's the toughest part. If people would ask me what's the toughest of all this, to me it's not the gym, because once I step in the gym I know I'm there and I have to work out. So it's like my mind already is it's defeated. It gives up and says, all right, well, let's work out, and then my body follows along. The toughest is not the dieting, because I've eaten tilapia for 31 days straight and asparagus. It's almost like you just eat for function, not for satisfaction. But the hardest part is fitting dieting in your everyday lifestyle. Whether it's you don't work during the day or you work, from your phone like I do, whether you work in a 9 to 5 office, whether you work as a police officer, a teacher. I've coached every single occupation, and I think that's the biggest struggle is being able to create a routine that you follow. So you almost just have to adjust your diet to your lifestyle, like I have, and it works out better for me. I'm able to sleep a little bit longer, because before I would wake up earlier, because I knew any longer I would sleep, I'd be starving. I couldn't wait till 1 or 2, I would die. But I slowly transitioned my body over the last year into something like that.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Chris has been listening in to this whole Google Hangout, so he did have a question as well that he wanted to ask you. So he
Okay.
can he can hear what we're saying right now. And basically, what he's curious about is the dreaded stomach area. Like, so many people are trying to lose weight in their stomach area, and he's curious about, what foods are foods that kind of hurt us in that area, the foods that go straight to our stomachs, and then foods that are also good for us that help burn stomach fat, and then also certain workout routines that optimize that area as well.
Okay. We'll start with the last one first, the different workouts. I believe abs are developed just in general everyday life, from sitting up in bed, from laughing, from coughing, from yelling, from using your core in the gym, to actually working it out. I work on my abs maybe once a week. I just think if you want them built a certain way, you have to almost like reform your abs. Some people do that, because you almost can do that. Um, but regardless, after dieting and cardio and hitting them once a week, you use your abs for everything. So now foods, usually anything high in sodium, even if it's healthy. Usually when I do a lot of egg whites, or I get carried away on the Walden Farm sauces here and there, I'll sometimes bloat from the sodium. So anything that's high in sodium, if you're not drinking enough water, that can add to making your midsection look a little softer. Foods that help the midsection are usually going to be anything with a lot of fiber. Usually after shows, after eating all that junk, when I step off stage, I'll just kind of do like a detox or like a fiber supplementation. That'll be like 7 days. Fiber in your everyday meals are very important. Even a fiber supplement, you could get cheap ones at Walmart, Target. Metamucil is very good. I just think anything like vegetables, things with antioxidants like teas are really good to reduce the bloat and reduce the midsection. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the dieting and exercise and following that routine and kind of being consistent with it. That's basically what's going to get you the abs that you want.
So basically, it's just consistent and eating healthy usually will do the trick, and staying away from sodium is what I'm hearing a lot of too.
Yeah, if you're like going to a pool party or something like that, or to the beach with your friends or whatever, and you're going to take your shirt off and you just don't want to be as bloated, You'd want to up your water just to, the more water you put in your body, the more your body will, get rid of it. So usually how I do my depletions, I'll drink a lot of water, up until before the show and then cut it off at a certain time. But that's getting more into the science of it. But yeah, if you're able just to, drink that's why my clients, they do 3 green tea bags a day with 1 to 2 gallons of water, because that'll just keep them regular and keep them just, like an engine well oiled, basically.
What does the tea bags do exactly?
The green tea, usually what it does, it can burn anywhere from 60 to 90 calories by itself, just drinking it. It's full of antioxidants. Some people that are, very, how can I say it? They don't react well with stimulants. They're able to get a decaf in the green tea, even though there's a small amount of caffeine still in the decaf. It's high in antioxidants. It's just good for just natural clean energy and just kind of flushing out your body while doing it.
That's awesome. I haven't heard that one before. All right. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
What is a goddamn.
Sorry, Jim, you got this, bro.
I was
Yeah.
like, is it a recording?
No, it's not. It isn't my whole thing. Oh, okay. So, what is the right amount of water then?
I would say a safe bet would be 1 gallon, Jim.
Okay.
If you could get 1 gallon in, that's a pretty safe bet. I wouldn't go less than 3/4 of a gallon. What I do is I just carry my gallons around with me, and then I'll refill them for super cheap, just to save money. And I throw my 3 tea bags in there. I don't brew them or nothing. They kind of just brew on their own. And I usually drink my water at room temperature, unless I'm not lazy enough to put it in the fridge. But it's everywhere I go, from my house to my car to next to my bed. It's just like almost like a wallet to me.
Okay.
So 1 gallon, you'll be safe doing that. And if you can't get a gallon, just work your way up and at least start with half gallon and just little by little add to it 3/4 and then 1 gallon, and you'll be that'll be really good for your body.
All right. Yeah, because I stopped drinking, other things, and I'm up to like a gallon and a gallon and a quarter of the water now.
Oh, that's good. Then yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect. I'll get in I try to do 2 gallons, just because it's when I do certain depletions or want to cut weight fast, the numbers just make sense when I work out. My numbers in depleting my body, or I'm trying to get lean in a couple of days. I know I've been at 2 gallons of water, so I know my body's regular with 2 gallons of water. Like that's what it's now requiring almost. So I'm able to play with numbers and lose a little bit of weight quick if I really wanted to, and just anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. So,
All right.
but you can never drink enough water. So don't let people say, isn't it bad to drink too much water?
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about this teabag thing. I'm still baffled by it. So, what brands do you normally buy, and do you just like toss it in your jug of water and go on with your day?
Excuse me?
With the tea bags, like what brand green teas do you buy, and what's the process? Like, do you just throw it in your 1 gallon jug?
That's all I do. Usually the night before, like tonight when I set up kind of like my meals, or I never set up my meal one. I'll kind of just set up my probably the rest of my meals throughout the day, because my meal one's usually eggs or something, and I don't like to eat eggs cold, so I mean warm them up after being heated up. And then what I'll do is open up my gallons and just stick 3 green tea bags in them, close them, and just let them sit in the fridge or on the counter, and they just brew overnight. And even if you just put them in the morning, even in the morning, if I'll forget, I'll put them in the morning and just take it and start drinking it, because you're not going to finish the whole gallon by the time, before the 3 tea bags are brewed. There's no way. And if you do, then even better for you because you just drank a gallon of water too. So it's a win-win.
Awesome. I do have another question that a knight that couldn't make it on the Hangout wanted to ask, and that was about saying no to temptation. He mentioned that he follows a really good regimen. He works out pretty often, 4 to 5 times a week, and usually he follows a pretty well-disciplined meal plan. But what he said he runs into a lot is he's got friends that are inviting him to birthday parties or out to the bar for the night, or his friend or his roommate's bringing home fast food. And so what he wants to ask is he's constantly got all these reasons to kind of break the rules, and he thinks that that's kind of what's hindering his fitness goals. So I'm curious what you would.
To me, if he were a client, and as Ting knows, that's just an excuse. There's no there, and I'm real with my clients. I baby them like I need to, and I'm real when I need to. But temptation, I just tell them like this: if you want something really bad enough, you'll make it happen. That's it. Temptation is tough to be around because I've lived in similar situations. I've adjusted my diet kind of around to my girlfriend's diet. I stay with her a lot, so it's kind of like I eat foods that she eats, but I manipulate them into my own regimen just to make life easier for me. So if I'm willing to do that, and I'm sure Tang's had to make some type of adjustments in his life to make his meals work, and there's no excuse. That's just an excuse if you're fighting temptation. That just means either the lifestyle's not for you, or in a way he can still give in a temptation and just do it in moderation. Just do it, once every 2-3 weeks. Give yourself that break, and then back to business the next 2-3 weeks. Create longevity. If you absolutely need to go out, and there's no doubt about it. And there's people that have clients that have to have, an unlimited amount of beers every Friday night. And I say, you know what? Then if I can't say no to you, you're the client, so let's set it up like this. Follow the diet every week, and he does it, and his results happen just a little bit slower. And I explain to him, but you just got to do it in moderation. And if temptation is hindering his progress that badly, then he's got to figure it out to where he can just go, every 2-3 weeks, go out a night or two, and that's it. You don't need to go out every week, and if you need to go out every weekend, then you're not really focused on your goals, and you don't want it that bad.
Awesome. That's really helpful advice. I appreciate that. I actually had a question personally, and it has to do with the way that you prep your meals. And I'm sure in your recipe book, I'm sure this has a lot of it too. But I'm curious because I know for me, I love sodium. I love salt. I love anything that's got it on it. Pork, bacon, that's like my favorite. So I'm curious, what kind of substitutes do you usually do to season your food that still give it that really good flavor, but it's obviously not bad for you?
There's a product I use. It's salt-free salt, and it's called no salt. It's a white. Oh, actually grab it for me, babe. It's right here. I'll actually show you guys it because it's always on my counter. Tastes just like salt. It saves me on everything. I use a lot of powders and a lot of spices. I don't use too much salt because you can't do too much of it. But what I will do is I will use the Walden Farm products. I'll use the sriracha, and just kind of in moderation, just to give it that, And I love red wine vinegar. That's really good. It's sodium free. It almost gives me, when I put it on my rice and quinoa, it gives me almost that, not soy sauce, but that kind of salty liquid, type taste. What else? Sometimes I'll snack on pickles when I start getting closer to a show. I'll just have 1 or 2 pickles a day because that's when it starts getting a little tougher, and I can afford that as far as sodium. And like I said, that's just me creating longevity and creating more of a doable process. And then when you have to really kick down, kicking gear, when you're ready to work a little harder for whatever it is, if you're getting ready for whatever it is. you know when you have to step it up. So if you create the longevity and use different products like this is the one I use. I got it at Walmart. It'll last you quite a while, and it's like I think $6, but it's good. It's called No Salt. So
Does it actually taste like salt?
exactly like salt. You just can't put too much. Just like any product that you put too much, it'll kind of you kind of taste like that how can I say it? Like that mineral type taste, you know, because you just put too much. So yeah, no, it saved me for a couple of years now.
That's awesome. Thanks for the tip.
Hey,
I'll
Jeff.
have to check that out. Yeah,
Hey, Jeff.
David, what's up?
Hey, real quick to add to that no salt thing. Table salt's made of sodium chloride, so no salt is magnesium chloride and potassium chloride. A lot of times it's going to taste like salt because it's got the same salt properties, but to his point on not adding too much because you get that mineral taste, they got bigger electron clouds, so they can cause like some imbalances in your body. So you want to use it just like you would use regular salt, but not add too much to it. Otherwise, it's a great alternative because it's going to do better for your body with the larger cloud. It actually helps facilitate proteins into the muscles